Indian Forever History Tour Series Episode 1 Pakistan's Betrayal and Invasion of Balochistan. Welcome to Indian Forever channel. Follow us on Twitter. Don't forget to share, subscribe and click the bell icon. Don't miss our regular updates and interesting facts. At the time of the withdrawal of British forces from the subcontinent on August 15, 1947, West Pakistan was less than half of its ultimate size. It took a year of negotiations, threats, and accidents to bring the princely states into Pakistan, and a long process of integration followed when the Taliban carried out a terrorist attack in Pakistan and claimed responsibility for it. The government authorities tell them, "Shut up, you didn't do it, the Indians did it." When the country's security forces confirm that they have actually killed more than 20 people in Balochistan, the turbulent province in the southwest, the Baloch chief minister says, "Come on, you didn't do it, the Indians did it." Pakistan army crooks and everyone says they have incontrovertible evidence about India involvement in destabilizing Balochistan. They only share the evidence with you because they insist that when evidence is already too evident, then why should one make the evident? Hence, there is national consensus that the assumption that there is evidence should be taken as the evidence, and journalists and human rights activists should stop asking for making the evidence evident. This truly complicates the situation. Some might even find it funny, but it is not. We are talking about a situation where dozens of people are losing their lives every day in extrajudicial killings committed by the Pakistani security forces in the province of Balochistan. Since the government views them as insurgents and terrorists, it does not bother to identify any one of them or provide any accountability why alleged terrorists are not arrested and given a fair trial. A country where security forces kill fellow countrymen so indiscriminately, and then flaunt over their extrajudicial actions, certainly shames democracy. What has gone wrong in Balochistan? A quick recap. Balochistan is the largest province of Pakistan in terms of land area, forming the southwestern region of the country. Its provincial capital and largest city is Quetta. Balochistan shares borders with Punjab and the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to the northeast, Sindh to the east and southeast, the Arabian Sea to the south, Iran to the west and Afghanistan to the north and northwest. The main ethnic groups in the province are the Baloch people and the Pashtuns, who constitute 52% and 36% of the population respectively. The remaining 12% comprises smaller communities of Brahmins, Hazaras along with other settlers such as Sindhis, Punjabis, Uzbeks and Turkmens. The name Balochistan means the land of the Baloch. The province is immensely rich in natural resources, including oil, gas, copper and gold. Despite these huge deposits of mineral wealth, the area is one of the poorest regions of Pakistan. A vast majority of its population lives in deplorable housing conditions where they don't have access to electricity or clean drinking water. Before the partition of India and Pakistan, Balochistan consisted of 4 princely states under the British Raj. These were Kalat, Lesbala, Khoran and Makran. 2 of these provinces, Lesbala and Khoran, were fiduciary states placed under Khan of Kalat's rule by the British, as was Makran, which was a district of Kalat. 3 months before the formation of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah had negotiated the freedom of Balochistan under Kalat from the British. Discussions were made about Kalat's relationship with Pakistan as it was formed. This ensued a series of meetings between the viceroy, as the crown representative, Jinnah and the Khan of Kalat. This resulted in a communique on August 11, 1947, which stated that a. The government of Pakistan recognizes Kalat as an independent sovereign state in treaty relations with the British government with a status different from that of Indian states. B. Legal opinion will be sought as to whether or not agreements of leases will be inherited by the Pakistan government. C. Meanwhile, a standstill agreement has been made between Pakistan and Kalat. D. Discussions will take place between Pakistan and Kalat at Karachi at an early date with a view to reaching decisions on defense, external affairs and communications. Referring to a telegram of October 17, 1947 from Grafty Smith, the political department, in a note on Pakistan-Kalat negotiations, says that Jinnah had second thoughts regarding the recognition of Khalid as an independent sovereign state, and was now desirous of obtaining its succession in the same form as was accepted by other rulers who joined Pakistan. The same note mentioned that an interesting situation is developing as Pakistan might accept the accession of Khalid to feudatories, Les Bela and Koran. By October 1947, Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah had a change of heart on the recognition of Khalid as an independent and a sovereign state, and wanted the Khan to sign the same form of instrument of accession as the other states which had joined Pakistan. The Khan was unwilling to abandon the nominally achieved independent status but ready to concede on defense, foreign affairs and communications. However, he was unwilling to sign either a treaty or an instrument, until and unless he had got a satisfactory agreement on the least areas. Fears were also being voiced that officials of the government of Pakistan might start dealing with the two feudatories of Les Bela and Koran, and accept their de facto accession. By February 1948, the discussions between Khalid and the government of Pakistan were coming to a head. The Quaid wrote to the Khan of Khalid, "I advise you to join Pakistan without further delay and let me have your final reply which you promised to do after your stay with me in Karachi when we fully discuss the whole question in all its aspects." On February 15, 1948, Jinnah visited Sibi, Balochistan and addressed a royal durbar, where he announced that until the Pakistan constitution is finally written in about 2 years' time, he would govern the province with the help of an advisory council that he would nominate. However, the main reason for Jinnah's visit was to persuade the Khan of Khalid to accede to Pakistan. As it transpired, the Khan failed to turn up for the final meeting with him, pleading illness. In his letter to Jinnah, he said that he had summoned both houses of the parliament, Dar al-Umara and Dar al-Awam, for their opinion about the future relations with the Dominion of Pakistan, and he would inform him about their opinion by the end of the month. When the Dar al-Awam of Khalid met on February 21, 1948, it decided not to accede, but to negotiate a treaty to determine Khalid's future relations with Pakistan. On March 9, 1948, the Khan received communication from Jinnah announcing that he had decided not to deal personally with the Khalid state negotiations, which would henceforth be dealt with by the Pakistan government. So far there had not been any formal negotiations but only an informal request made by Jinnah to the Khan at Sibi. The U.S. ambassador to Pakistan in his dispatch home on March 23, 1948 informed that on March 18, Koran, Les Bela and Meccan, feudatory states of Khalid had acceded to Pakistan. The Khan of Khalid objected to their accession, arguing that it was a violation of Khalid's standstill agreement with Pakistan. He also said that while Koran and Les Bela were its feudatories, Meccan was a district of Khalid. The British government had placed the control of the foreign policy of the two feudatories under Khalid in July 1947. Prior to partition on March 26, 1948, the Pakistan Army was ordered to move into the below coastal region of Pasni, Jiwani and Turbat. This was the first act of aggression prior to the march on Khalid by a Pakistani military detachment on April 1, 1948. Khalid capitulated on March 27 after the army moved into the coastal region, and it was announced in Karachi that the Khan of Khalid has agreed to merge his state with Pakistan. Jinnah accepted the succession under the gun. It should be noted that the Balochistan Assembly had already rejected any suggestion of forfeiting the independence of Balochistan on any pretext, so even the signature of the Khan of Khalid taken under the barrel of the gun was not viable, because the parliament had rejected the accession, and the accession was never mandated by the British Empire either, who had given Balochistan under Khalid independence before India. The sovereign Baloch state after British withdrawal from India lasted only 227 days. During this time Balochistan had a flag flying in its embassy in Karachi where its ambassador to Pakistan lived. To say that the Baloch have been ill-treated by all governments and military establishments since their land was illegally and forcefully taken over would be an understatement. As a result, there have been continuous insurgencies, the largest of which was started in 2006 after the killing of Sardar Akbar Bugti and 26 of his tribesmen by the Pakistan Army. A 2006 report by the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan (HRCP) documented arbitrary arrests and detentions, torture, extrajudicial and summary executions, disappearances and the use of excessive and indiscriminate violence by the Pakistan police, military, security agencies and intelligence forces. These figures are corroborated by Amnesty International. Kachkol Ali Balok, who is the former leader of opposition in the Balochistan Assembly, alleged that about 4,000 people have been either missing or are detained without trial. The missing persons included around 1,000 students and political activists. Lately his own son was kidnapped and was finally released after being held captive for 14 months. Sardar Akhtar Mangal, leader of the Balok Nationalist Party BNP, was one of the people arrested in 2006 on framed terrorism charges. The reality was he was planning a long march against the then President of Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf. He was later released in 2008 and all cases against him were dropped. The current Chief Minister of Balochistan, Dr. Abdul Malik Balok, recently spoke at a seminar held in Punjab called Stability in Balochistan Challenges and Possibilities. He clearly stated that if the Balok people are not given a right to the resources of their province, we would be looking at yet another insurgency and no one will be able to control it. The true history of Balochistan is never shared or talked about among the general public of Pakistan. Our textbooks and other publications narrate a rhetoric which is far from the truth, and which has made the general public believe in a lie. It is the responsibility of the intellectuals, the teachers and the professors to learn and reveal the real facts according to non-tempered historical documents. Balochistan comprises over 44% of the country territory, with most of the country oil, gas and mineral wealth, but only about 5% of the total population. This has led to the Punjabi-dominated society from exploiting the gas fields and other resources like gold and copper, but returning very little to the local folk, 80% of whom live below the poverty line. Pakistan claim over Balochistan itself is highly questionable. The Balok region, which falls mostly in Pakistan, with some territories in Iran and Afghanistan, always had a distinct identity. Centuries ago, most of Balochistan was under a Hindu king who hired local tribesmen to keep marauders from Multan and frontier at bay. These tribesmen then toppled the king to establish a caliphate which was presided over by a Khan. But slowly, the British influence began to grow in the western regions of undivided India, and by 1839, they had established British primacy in Balochistan as well. Then came the turn of the century and most of India got engaged in the freedom struggle under the aegis of the Indian Congress or the Muslim League, and Balok tribe leaders too began to have dreams of ridding themselves of the British, but as an independent country separate from India and Pakistan. The Khan of the Khalid at that time, Mir Ahmad Yar Khan, hired none other than Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was a leading advocate of that time, to fight the case for Balok independence. It was under Jinnah legal guidance that a final agreement was successfully reached on Balochistan's separate territorial integrity. Balochistan was to be declared independent on August 5, 1947, with the same territorial and administrative freedom that the Khalid enjoyed in 1838. In fact, by the time Pakistan and India gained independence, Balok leaders had placed a formal ambassador in their commission in Karachi, the first capital of Pakistan, and hoisted the Balok flag there, just like different countries do. But as irony would have it, the Balok people were betrayed by the founders of Pakistan, who scripted a simultaneous agreement with the British which gave Pakistan the same rights that the colonial rulers had acquired in 1839. Virtually, Balochistan was handed to Pakistan by the British despite a protracted legal battle that had established its independent status. Soon enough, and despite stiff resistance from the Balok leaders, all regions and factions of Balochistan were coerced by Jinnah into signing accession treaties with the Islamic Republic. This was an ultimate betrayal, but the betrayal did not end there. It has continued for decades, with the province being excessively exploited by Pakistan without getting much in return. The region has the highest poverty level along with lowest life expectancy, education, health, water, power and sanitation facilities. Since 1947, the Balok tribal people have launched 5 insurgencies, making it one of the longest armed struggles in history for seeking either independence or autonomy. However, despite decades of bloodbath, very little has come out of their rebellion. The reasons for this are several. Firstly, The territory does not fall on the border of two nuclear states at odds with each other, and so the world has no reason to turn the lens on an area which poses no threat of becoming a potential nuclear hotspot. Secondly, there is no media to highlight what is happening in the hinterland. Again, unlike other insurgencies, where emotions flare up due to adverse media coverage and fanning of hate through WhatsApp groups, Balochistan hardly has access to such dark information through television or social tools about Pakistan atrocities and repressive techniques. Thirdly, Balochistan is one issue that Iran and Pakistan agree upon. Both do not want the territories falling within their borders to break away from them. Moreover, China is very keen on utilizing the region's geographical advantage and is the one that has built the Gwadar port. They will do everything to help Pakistan hold on to the state, especially in the light of the economic corridor that they are planning to build. Pakistan has also established settlements of non-Baloch people in areas close to the port and other regions where development is taking place. This is a major grouse for the local populace, who are not getting a fair share of jobs arising from economic progress, as mostly engineers and technicians are hired from other states. Fourthly, Baloch people have a limited supply of money and weapons, and despite that they have managed to prolong the insurgency so far. Fifth and lastly, the Baloch tribes are a divided lot, betraying and killing each other and harming their own cause. Brawls over succession after death of prominent leaders and comfortable lives of those living in exile make the common Baloch feel shortchanged. While Pakistan may be feeling a sense of quiet victory that the Baloch insurgency is no longer at its strongest and that it has tightened its iron fist over the people, land and natural wealth, the rulers of the country may be missing a new development. Balochistan, a predominantly Sunni state, is slowly losing its heterogeneous character, and the people are no longer happy to live with others of different faith, the case here being Shia community. From the early years of Baloch Liberation Army guerrilla warfare to the more recent attacks on urban infrastructure projects to the killing of the leader Nawab Akbar Bugti in 2006, the Baloch struggle has changed course. The peril of Balochistan insurgents now turning from seekers of autonomy to becoming jihadists and foot soldiers of organizations like Lashkar-e-Jhangvi may not be a far shot unless the angst cultivated in the hearts of the people is addressed and youth given employment opportunities. There are chances of that anger being misdirected to becoming something even more hideous. Pakistan can take solace for the moment that they have crushed a movement that has been running since independence, but it by no measure means that the Baloch quandary has been resolved. Thanks for watching. Please share and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. See you in our next video.